Okay, in the chapter of the forces, first of all, we start with the same idea. When forces are acting at different angle, for example, if one force is acting at horizontal component, other force is acting at vertical component. So, when different forces are acting at different components, so we will get different values of the forces in different direction. And we can also find out the resultant force, just like in previous level in O levels IGCSE. We know that we can find out resultant force in the parallel direction, like both forces are acting in one line or all forces are acting in a single line. And if we talk about the other case, that is the perpendicular forces, so forces can also be act at 90-degree, but we have another situation when forces are acting at random angle. So when forces are acting at random angle, so we need to make components of them, and by making up the components, we can find out the resultant force, or we can find out the force on x-axis, on y-axis, etc. Right? Whatever the force given in the question. So that is the idea of the forces, the basic forces idea. And the basic definition of the forces we already know. We can write down the rate of change of momentum is called force. We discussed in the last chapter of momentum. So rate of change of momentum is called force, or we can also use the idea of forces. So we can also use Newton's second law, F equals to ma, to define the force, and the basic idea of force remains the same. Push or pull on a body is also called force. And Newton's law is also the part of the forces chapter in AS. So we have Newton's first law of motion again. So in Newton's first law of motion, we already know about this statement, because in AS we have definitions in the final papers. We have definitions in the past papers also. So now definitions are important. So an object continues in a state of rest or uniform motion unless acted upon by an external force. So this statement of Newton's first law is easy and we already know about it. But if we talk about the examples, because now in AS we have different types of questions and we need to think about examples critically given in the questions, because there are very important key points, minor key points in the question that will change the answer. So when we are talking about body at rest state, so in that position, speed is zero. And when we talk about uniform motion, constant speed. And now we are also working with the vector quantities. So constant speed plus same direction or straight line. So the motion of the body must be in a straight line, or it will be like this in the same direction with the same rate. So these conditions are for the uniform motion and the rest state. So that's why we use the term uniform motion in our definition also. And for example, in your questions, so we have some keywords. We can apply this Newton's first law or the idea of the Newton's first law when we got this type of words in the questions. We have rest, hanging word, constant speed, terminal velocity. So this is the scenario for Newton's first law of motion. So Newton's first law of motion explains all these examples mentioned in the keywords. So we already discussed about the free fall motion when object drop from the height. So weight is acting in the downward direction, air resistance acting in opposite direction. When they make balance each other, so body falls with constant speed, that is called terminal velocity. And at that point, resultant force will be equals to zero and body falls with uniform motion at that time. And if we consider some more examples, let's suppose example number one. So if we have different types of examples from the daily life case or the question or the type of question we got in the past papers. So first of all, example of hanging, because the example of rest is very common. We already know about it. So first of all, the example of hanging. So when object is hanging, so in this situation, we use idea of tension in the force because tension in the string. Tension is also the force, but the word tension is actually used for the string, cable, wire that is connected with the object and supporting that object. So this is the value of, or this is the direction of the tension in upward direction. And let's suppose weight of the body is 100 Newton, right? So in this situation, we can say that box is in equilibrium state. Box is in equilibrium. So equilibrium means body is not moving anywhere, body is not rotating anywhere, it is in equilibrium state. And the value of the tension is equals to the value of the weight because it is hanging. And just like we discussed in the Newton's first law, when we use the word rest, hanging, constant speed, so it means body remains in its own state until any external force acts on the body. So tension is equals to the weight equals to the 100 Newton, right? And we use this similar idea in another example. For suppose if we consider a man in a lift moving upward at constant speed. So it means that the tension in the cable or the tension in the rope is equals to the weight of the man. Yes, exactly. If you want to find out the net force, so you need to add the forces, and definitely because of opposite direction, uh, they actually subtract from each other because they have opposite direction, right? Because just like the resultant forces concept we already studied in O levels or IGCSE, we have opposite direction. So if you consider this one as positive, so this will be negative. So when we add them, so basically because of the opposite sign, they subtract each other. Okay, so this is simple example, example number one. In the same way, if we have a slightly typical example from this, for example, case number two. In example number two, for example, we have object and on that object forces are acting in different directions. Let's suppose this is the object and the one direction of the force is given over here, F, and the second force is acting at this point. This is the value of. Let's suppose another force represented by the G and the weight of the body is acting in downward direction, 100 Newton. So for example, if this object is also in equilibrium condition, so in an equilibrium condition, the sum of all forces must be equals to zero. It means body is not moving anywhere, body is not rotating anywhere. So sum of all forces, sum of all moments is equals to zero in this case. So for example, if we need to find out any unknown quantity, so we need to make the components. Let's suppose this is force F1, this is F2. So we can make components like this. For F1, one component is horizontal, the other component is vertical, and on the other side, we have one component vertical, other component horizontal. So in this way, we can find out their components and relate their components with each other. For example, this one is making a greater angle, like 60, for suppose. So we can write this component as F1 cos 60 and the other one is F1 sin 60. In the same way, the other force is, let's suppose, making 30 angle with horizontal. So this one is equals to F2 cos 30 sin 30. Right. So from this diagram, we can conclude some results. For example, on right hand side, we have two forces. If we talk about horizontal components only, so on horizontal components, we have value of G on left hand side is equals to F1 cos 60, F2 cos 30. So these are the values. Two values are on right hand side, one value on the left hand side. So these values are equal and opposite to each other. In the same way, if we talk about the vertical component, so in vertical component, we have one component in upward direction, which is F1 sin 60. And in downward direction, we have 100 newtons plus F2 sin 30. So in this way, we can resolve vectors according to the given direction, according to the given angles in this type of example given in the question. We also already solved one question in the momentum. That is also based upon the components given in the question. We will further practice more from the past papers. So you will get more questions from this type of the components of the forces. And we have one more type of example. Example number 3. So in example number 3, we have inclined surface. We are using inclined plane this time. So this is the object and it is making some angle with the horizontal surface. And first of all, we need to mark all the forces acting on the object. So first of all, the weight of the object acts in the downward direction and it is placed on the surface. So normal reaction or normal force exerted by the surface on the object. So this is normal reaction. And the force of friction in this direction. And motion definitely in the forward direction. Basically, the problem in this diagram is that we know that friction is opposite to the motion, but the direction of weight is not opposite to the normal reaction or the normal contact force. Because when we place any object on the table, so that object will not move in downward direction because of gravity. We have another force acting on that object in the opposite direction, which is called normal reaction or the contact force. So because of that contact force or normal reaction, that object will not move in downward direction. It will remain in its equilibrium state on the table. So that is one idea. And to make this body in equilibrium state, because right now it is not in equilibrium state, so we need to identify the other components of the forces to make them in equilibrium state. So we need to make the components of the weight of the object, because weight is not in the balance direction of that normal reaction. So if we make the components of the weight force, so one component is exactly in this direction, that is opposite to the normal reaction. So this component balances the normal reaction. And the other component is parallel to the inclined plane, right? And one more thing, this time we are getting angle with respect to vertical. So this angle is with respect to vertical. For suppose this is theta 1. So this theta 1 is the angle with respect to vertical component. So it is the angle with respect to the vertical. So in this scenario, what we need to do when you got this type of angles, and we are not sure that which component will be cos theta, which component will be sin theta. So for example, if you rotate this diagram like this, so now if we consider this diagram, so this is a right angle triangle. And in this right angle triangle, this is the base, this is perpendicular, this is hypotenuse, right? Because this is 90-degree angle. So it is very important to check the angle given in the question and then identify the sides of the forces or the sides of the component given in the question. If you make again in the normal form like this, so now you can identify that this side is the base, actually this side is perpendicular, and the 90 angle opposite direction is hypotenuse. So it means that we need to write cos theta with this component. So this will be W cos theta, and this perpendicular is W sin theta, right? So according to the vertical component first, if we mark the vertical components, so in vertical components, normal reaction is equal and opposite to W cos theta according to the diagram. And there is no other vertical force. And for horizontal forces on one side we have friction, and on the other side we have this component W sin theta, because it is parallel to the surface of the inclined plane. So this happens when body is in equilibrium state. Right? Any question, any confusion in these examples? Okay, so this is one idea, that how we consider the forces with different angle. Example 2, vertical part. Okay. Basically, in example number 2, we have one force acting in vertical upward direction. This one. So this force is only acting in vertical upward direction. And in downward direction, we have two forces given. Basically, you need to consider all the directions. Simple. We already mark all the forces. In vertical upward direction, we have one force, F1 sine 60. Right? This force is in upward direction. And in downward direction, we have F2 sine 30 and 100 Newton. So these two forces are in downward direction. So they are equal and opposite to each other. Right? Just like the value of G is acting towards left hand side, and these two forces combine acting towards right hand side. Okay, so that's why we are taking these values equal and opposite to each other. So components are very important, because if you are not able to mark components by yourself, so it will be very difficult to solve resultant forces in AS, because right now all possible forces values are given in the question, so we need to know about all of them. And next we have Newton's second law. Newton's second law is also very easy. We have a direct formula to calculate the resultant force by using Newton's second law. So in Newton's second law of motion, we state that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional. So rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the resultant force. So it is equals to, or F equals to ma. And this F is the net force. This is also the net force. So this net force actually represents all the forward forces minus all the backward forces equals to ma. In the same way, if forces are acting in vertical direction, so we can write upward force minus downward force is equals to ma to find out the resultant force, right? And we apply Newton's second law when we got these keywords in our question. So keywords are speeding up, slowing down, accelerate, decelerate. So these terms helps you to identify the situation for Newton's second law, because in Newton's first law we have equilibrium state in most of the questions. So that's why we always consider the rest state or the uniform motion state. But this time we have resultant force idea. So resultant force means body is accelerating, body is changing direction, body is moving with changing speed. So anything can be happen. Then we have Newton's third law. Newton's third law of motion. So in Newton's third law, if body A exerts force on body B, so if body A exerts force on body B, so body B exerts the same force on body A, which is equal in magnitude, which is equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. So this is Newton's third law. And in Newton's third law, we always keep some important points. That is, there must be two bodies and force must be acting between two bodies, because in some examples we will not count the bodies. When two forces are acting on a single body, we apply Newton's third law. So that is not the right way to apply Newton's third law. So force must be acting, force act on different bodies. Number two, type of force must be same. For example, if one force is due to gravity, so the other force must be due to gravity. If one force is magnetic, so other force must be due to the magnetic also, right? So this is important to consider the same type of forces on the body. And the third one is equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Opposite direction. So these are the important points we need to consider in the Newton's third law, because in most of the example we ignore these points and we consider Newton's third law in very easy pattern, and we got wrong answers mostly in MCQs, because in MCQs we have very close options. So let's suppose in Newton's third law examples, if we consider example 1, so example 1 is, so let's suppose if this is the weight of the body and this is the normal reaction. So basically, this force is on the same object, like on the box. So both forces are acting on the box. So it means this is not the application of Newton's third law, because both forces act on box, and they are different types of forces. Different force type means the weight force is due to the gravity. It means this force is non-contact force. This is non-contact force, and this is due to contact force. So these two types of forces are exactly different to each other. They are not same. And also both forces are acting on a single body, single object. So that's why it is not the application of Newton's third law. And for example, if we want to consider Newton's third law in this example or this type of situation, so we have another idea. Let's suppose if we consider same object at certain height. So now at this point, the weight of the object is also acting in downward direction, and one force towards the box. So basically these two forces are opposite. These two forces are not the same. These are opposite. So this purple force is due to, or in other words, we can say this W force is pull of earth on box. And in the same way, this is the pull of box on earth. Right? So now in this case, we have same type of forces, right? We have action reaction pair. One force is acting on the earth, other force is acting on the box, so they are opposite to each other. They have same types of forces. Because of gravity, they are exerting force on each other, because due to gravity, box hit on the ground and it exerts force on the ground. Ground also exerts force on the box. So now we have two bodies. So this is the case of action reaction, right? So this is the important difference we need to keep in our questions when we are working with Newton's third law in the questions. Otherwise, most of the time we use wrong concept for Newton's third law. And for example, if object is accelerating downwards So, for example, that man is standing in an elevator and that elevator is accelerating downward. So, for that man, basically, so the weight of the object is in downward direction, and this is the reaction force. And since body is moving in downward direction, so the weight of the body is greater than reaction, because lift is moving in downward direction, so we are moving in the direction of the weight, so that's why the force of the weight is greater than the reaction force, or equation for this reaction can be written as weight minus normal reaction is equals to ma, right? And for example, if we are moving in upward direction, accelerating upward in the accelerator or in the lift, for suppose, so when it is accelerating in upward direction, so in this scenario, what happens? Now this is the weight of the body, and this time reaction force is greater, because the reaction force, now body is accelerating in the direction of the reaction force, so that's why reaction force is greater than the weight of the object. And to write down the equation will be equals to reaction minus weight equals to ma. So this is the equation for the body accelerating in upward direction or in downward direction, right? Any confusion in this? Okay. And in the forces, we have drag forces idea also. So normally when we drop any object in the atmosphere, in the air, let's suppose, or if we drop any object in the liquid surface, for example, if we drop a stone in the water, so it starts to move in downward direction, but it also feel resistive force or the drag force from the liquid in the opposite direction. So that is called the drag force, and after some time it starts to fall with the constant speed, because the downward force will be equals to the upward force. That is the idea of drag force. Drag force means when object moves in a fluid, it experiences a drag force, or drag force can also be written as viscous drag, because we have two types of drag forces. One we used in air resistance, and the other we use in the liquid. water, oil, glycerin, etc. So we use this type of viscous drag in the liquids. And we have some factors also. So the first factor is viscosity of liquid. Viscosity of liquid means thickness of the liquid. So the first factor is related to the thickness of the liquid. So more viscosity means thick fluid. So in thick fluid, we have more drag force. So it means drag force is directly proportional to viscosity. If we have thick liquids, so viscosity or the drag force will be greater. The second factor is surface area. So surface area means greater surface area, more drag force. Because if we have more area, so more particles can exert force on the body. So it will be greater. So greater surface area means more drag force. So in this case, more molecules collide with the body. So it will be the more force acting on the particle, right? And the third factor is speed of object. So speed of light means greater speed. Greater speed means greater drag force. Because if we are uh, walking in normal atmosphere, so we'll not feel very high force in our surrounding by the air particles. But when we are running, so the speed of our body is high, so we feel more air resistance in the surrounding. So in the same way, if you drop object with very high speed in the water, so that will experience more drag force. So this is the third factor related to the drag forces acting on the object, right? And these are some concepts of the forces, basic concept of the forces. And like in next class we will also practice the questions related to it, but most of the questions are linked with the other topics like turning effect of forces, mass, weight, density, work, power, energy, and momentum. So the concept of the force is linked with the other topics also, right? So we will discuss those questions in next class.